Hello and welcome once again to my backyard. What I wanted to do for you today is I've decided to make a series of videos detailing the easiest way that I think to make 4 barbecue foods that you would like to make for yourself at home. The easiest way to do it. So we're going to start with the number one is ribs. So let's talk about fire management right now. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to my barbecue pit. As you can see, I've got a bunch of coals here around the outside perimeter of the inside of my grill. And I've got a woolly wood fire starter over here. I'm going to put some more coals over here to show you how it's done. I lean the coals up against the outside of the grill like this. And what it is, there's approximately 60 coals there. There's 4 rows of 15. And we get them like this, and they just have to be touching. As long as they're touching, this is known as the fuse method, or sometimes called the snake method of charcoal management. And what it does is, it will burn slowly around that way and give us a long, low and slow cook. So, oops, there it goes. Okay. Anyway, we're going to light this woolly wood fire starter. Now, if you don't have any woolly wood fire starters or any kind of fire starters, what you can do is, if you have one of these charcoal chimneys like this one, let me show you. This is your typical charcoal chimney. What you do with this is you turn it upside down, put about 5 coals on top, and get them started any way you can with newspaper or whatever. And then you just dump them at one end of the snake. They call it the snake, some people call it the fuse. What it is, it's a great way to manage temperature in your grill because it burns slowly. You can also add some wood to this, but I'm not adding wood today because we're smoking ribs and we really don't need the wood. All we need is a charcoal to smoke the ribs. So it's going to get started now. There's the fire in the hole. And now we got to prep our ribs. Part 2. Okay, so while my fire's getting started, I've got a rack of baby back ribs. Now this will work for any kind of ribs. You could do spare ribs this way. I like baby backs because they're nice and meaty, and I just like them better. Anyway, the first thing you got to do is take this membrane off the bone side of the rib. All you need is like a butter knife to get up under that membrane and a paper towel, and all you got to do is grab it and you can rip that thing right off of there. It takes a little bit of work, yeah, but I think it's worth it. A lot of pitmasters will tell you, oh, all you got to do is score it with a sharp knife, or don't take it off at all. I like to remove it. To me, if I go into a rib joint and I get ribs and they've got that membrane on there, I don't ever go back. It's just my personal preference. I believe you should take that off of there. Anyway, once we got that off there, what we're going to do is hit it with a binder. The binder is what's going to hold the rub to the ribs. Get them turned over like that. What binder I use is this, Sang stir fry oil. You could use any kind of stuff. You don't even have to use any binder at all if you don't have to. But it's good to use a binder. It helps keep the rub stuck to the ribs. It helps give you a nice crust if you're after that, if you're into that. All you got to do is rub that on there. Get the ribs covered with that. And then we're going to take our rub. Now this is my rub that I make. This is my root boy rub. If you'd like to try some root boy rub, leave a comment on this video, give me a thumbs up, be a subscriber, and I'll give away some root boy rub. But there's lots of great rubs on the market. There's Uncle Steve Shakes, there's Tango Spice Chicken and Rib Rub, Strawberries Competition Barbecue, all kinds of rubs on the market, and you can make your own rub. I'll put a recipe in the description for how to make your own barbecue rub. But anyway, I'm going to use my rub because I like it, because I have it on hand. I have all the other rubs too, but I'm just using this one today. We're going to generously coat the ribs with the rub. both sides, bone side too. And it's good to let them sit for a little minute and let that rub get on there and do its magic, you know. It's just gonna get on there and give it a nice color. It's already looking good. Already looks good enough to eat. So we're just gonna let that sit a little while fire comes up to temperature. We'll get the grate on the fire, we'll get the ribs on the fire. I'll show you what that looks like. And then we'll go on to step 2. Well, this is step 2. We'll go on to step 3, which is the smoking. 3 hours of smoking. Stay tuned. The fuse is lit. The ribs are on the fire opposite the hot coal. They're starting to generate some smoke. We're going to put the cover on that and just forget about it for 3 hours. They got to smoke for 3 hours. Then we'll come back with part 4, I guess, and wrap them. And then we'll sauce them, and then we'll eat them. So stay tuned. I just wanted to mention the bottom vents are wide open, and at this point so is the top vent until we get some temperature going. And you can see we got that beautiful light smoke coming out of the top vent. We'll leave that open for a while. We might have to dial that back to control the temperature. We want to keep about a 250 to 275 degree temperature under here for the next 3 hours. I just wanted to mention that because I forgot to tell you before. Anyway, there we go. Let's come back when the ribs are almost finished cooking. You don't have to spritz them or nothing. Don't worry about them. Just leave them in there and let them cook. Remember, if you're looking, you ain't cooking. So let's get these ribs finished up. We'll come back for the wrap. Stay tuned. My ribs have been in the smoke for 3 hours, and I want to show you the thermometer. The thermometer has been at a rock steady 250 the whole time. The snake method has done all the work of managing the fire. I haven't done anything to it. It's kept a solid 250. It hasn't climbed above 250 the whole time. 3 hours. It's time to wrap. Stay tuned. The ribs have been smoking for 3 hours. It's time for the wrap. So what we're going to do now is put some butter, some pats of butter on top of the ribs like this. Now the pros use parquet margarine, but you can use butter or margarine, either one. I don't think it matters that much. Parquet is like a little bit easier to work with and it melts quicker, but butter works just fine. I'm going to put about half a stick of butter on there. Then I've got some honey. We're going to drop a little bit of honey on there. Let me get this butter out of the way. We're going to squirt some honey on top of the ribs like this, as what's his name? I've forgotten his name. Famous barbecue guy says, honey for the money. Then we got the honey squirted on there. We got a little bit of brown sugar we're going to put on there. Some brown sugar. Now if you remember, my rub doesn't have any sugar in it. So now we're going to put some brown sugar on top of that. Yes sir, brown sugar. Brown sugar. Shut up, don't sing. Yes, we're going to put a little brown sugar on that honey and the butter. Get that on there. Just a little bit of brown sugar, about a half a cup. We're going to wrap that up tight and get it back on the grill for 2 more hours. And at that time, hopefully we'll get some pullback on the bone. The snake has burnt down about halfway, so that's good news. And we're going to get this wrapped up tight, get it back on the grill. I'm using butcher paper, so you could use aluminum foil if you don't have any butcher paper. I prefer butcher paper. I'm going to put that back on there and let it rock and roll in there for about another 2 hours. Then we'll come back and check it out. It'll be time to sauce the ribs. So there you go, back on the grill. Stay tuned. So finally, after 5 hours of waiting, it's time to get the ribs out of the wrap and sauce them. Oh, they look beautiful. Nice and juicy and delicious, I'm sure. Throw my wrap away. So the sauce I'm using today is this, I got it from Trader Joe's, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce. But I'm going to put a recipe in the description for you to use to make a basic barbecue sauce. I'm just going to put some of this on here. This is a kind of a mustard based sauce, I think. Nice and thick, beautiful color. I'm just going to spread that out on there with my brush here. Just going to brush that on. These ribs are so juicy, it's unbelievable. We'll just spread that sauce on there. We'll leave them on the grill for a little while longer, just to let the sauce set up a little bit. And then we'll cut them open and take a taste. My favorite part of the video. Look how beautiful they look. And the snake method has worked perfectly. We've still got at least another hour's worth of charcoal left. So let's let that sauce set up on there. We'll plate these up and take a taste. Stay tuned. Finally done. There's the Frosty Root Boy mug, star of the show. Here's today's beer from the Terrapin Brewing Company in Athens, Georgia. We have Gyrosphere. Brr, it's hoppy in here. You know I'm gonna like this one, right, Rob? Yes, sir. A hoppy ale from Terrapin Brewing. Let's tilt that glass and pour that beer. A nice India Pale Ale for me to taste with my ribs. Got a kind of a crappy pour. So the ribs turned out really good. They got I didn't get the best pullback on the bone that I was expecting. It's okay though. And I think I got a pretty good smoke ring on them. That snake method really worked out well, I have to say. Let's cut me a slice of that. Let that cool off so I can grab it and show it to you. Yeah, meanwhile, we're neglecting the beer, huh, Rob? Let's pour out the rest of that. Terrapin Brewing Company. There's a whole blurb on here. Gyrosphere IPA packs in huge amounts of hops. Well, you know I'm going to like it then, right? Let's take a sniff. Oh yeah, smells great. Smells like an IPA. Look at the head on that, Rob. Let's quaff the froth off it. Excellent. Excellent beer from Terrapin Brewing Company. Beer and ribs. What could be better? Let me get a piece of these ribs over here in my mouth. Let me show you what I got here. Not too shabby. Got a bit of a nice smoke ring on there. Beautifully sauced, beautifully cooked. Let's take a bite of that. There you go. The perfect bite. Not falling off the bone. Not too mushy. Just right. Wow, delicious. Hey, I hope you enjoyed my rib tutorial. I hope you come back next week. I think we're going to do pulled pork. And my ribs turned out really good. And the snake method really proved itself. The ribs are delicious. Anyway, babies, that's my video. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next week. Bye.